Hello, everybody. It's Spotted here, the Fight Card Podcast, coming to you from San Antonio, Texas. We are on location once again inside the House of Jiu-Jitsu in downtown San Antonio. Our guest today, Ovidio Hernandez, in the studio. Man, how are you, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
No, I invited you the other day out here, man, and I'm glad you stopped by. Now, I invited you for a few reasons, man. You got a story. I mean, I don't know if we have enough time to talk about everything, but as far as you and your brother, I mean, back in the day before, mixed martial arts kind of picked up, the TAMMA organization was around. You guys actually moved here from California.
Correct.
Now, that was the whole family?
Yeah, everybody, man. Mom, dad, brothers, sisters, Diaz, everybody's out here, bro.
Brought everybody with you.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this, bro. I mean, we talked about earlier, and I wasn't aware of this, but your first step in mixed martial arts was actually, you said you had no training. You weren't training specifically to fight?
Not to fight. I was just doing the mixed martial arts stuff, and there was this first card that came up, and I decided to just sign up, and I didn't even have a gym, man, but I just did it.
Now, was this like, were you and your brother training? I mean, were you guys like, man, we're going to...
Yeah, we were just training. We had nothing to do here in Texas, man. We had moved over here, and there was nothing. So we just walked by this gym, and it said MMA. We're like, hey, man, it's that stuff where they, like we were watching the Hoist Gracie fights and all that stuff.
Right.
So we just decided to jump in. That was it.
No, let me ask you this, bro. Like I had asked you earlier, too. As far as sports, you actually were involved in sports in California?
Yeah, I played hockey in middle school, and then I competed in it was like the X Games. It was called the NIS, and just had competition, aggressive skating, doing vert ramps, street ramps, all that stuff.
Damn. And how long were you doing that for?
I started when I was 12, I think.
Oh, man. Okay, so you already been doing it for a couple of years?
Yeah, 4 or 5 years.
No, and I got to ask, bro, because I'm pretty sure everybody wants to know, man. Being from California, In-N-Out or Whataburger, bro?
Whataburger all the way.
Man, I was about to call security, man, so you're good with that one.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, man. Your brother, I mean, like I said earlier, I mean, you guys both started competing in the TAMMA organization. Now, when you guys started training, you said you started training with somebody else first before Powerhouse.
Yeah. It was called San Antonio Mixed Martial Arts. Cliff Duran was the main coach at the time. And, I was just training with them, but the gym ended up closing. So I ended up signing up for my first MMA fight without having any gym to train at, bro. And that's when I ended up at Texas Powerhouse.
Okay, and I mean, that's kind of not ironic, but I mean, it's kind of funny that it happened that way because, I mean, when you went to your first fight, who was in your corner? Who cornered you?
Jamie and Jason Palacios.
Okay, yeah, I remember that guy. I forgot about him, man.
Yeah.
Now, your first fight, man, what are you thinking? I mean, what are your pre-fight jitters? Were you nervous? Were you scared? Were you thinking, damn, what did I do?
Bro, I didn't even know what I was getting into. I mean, it was the unknown, right? It wasn't until I got into the cage that I was like, oh, crap, this is really happening.
Yeah, too late. Look at Jamie, you're like, throw it down.
No, for real. But it turned out pretty good, man. It was a second-round submission, rear naked choke. And I fought at... It was like 165. I didn't even cut weight or anything. It was just walked in, man. It was funny because they didn't even know who I was gonna fight. Right? It was the first MMA fight here. Like they switched up opponents like 3 times.
Damn.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Now, with something like that, and I'll say this because even with MMA gyms in the past, like for example, Pat Miletich, he used to have his guys training, and they would show up to a fight, and he right there and then he'd be like, "Okay, you're gonna fight," and like these guys would. A lot of them, I guess, because they weren't nervous, they kind of went in and did pretty good. Now, with you, it was the opposite, man. But I mean, the fact that you had changes like that, I mean, what were you thinking right there and then? Like, damn, what am I gonna do?
I don't know, man. I was excited at first, just like I'm actually gonna do it, just to prove. I wanted to prove something to myself that I could actually do this.
Right.
And I was like, what better way to just jump in? But once it started getting closer, I was like, whoa, man, like. What did I get myself into? But at that point, it was like point of no return anymore. It's like just go with it.
And you'd be surprised, man, because it happens a lot, in especially in regional promotions where guys they weigh in and they don't show up. like they basically walk away, and it happened recently at Cowboys, man. So the fact that you still stuck it out, that's pretty good.
I don't understand that stuff, man. Like, you're there, just fight, bro. I mean, I don't know. That never crossed my mind to, like, I should probably leave. Nah.
Take off. Now, were you guys sparring? Because at the first gym that you trained at, I mean, were you guys actually sparring, or how was that training?
Not as much. We were doing a lot of wrestling, submission wrestling training. We weren't doing gear. I wasn't doing gear at the time. I was just doing a lot of submission wrestling. But as far as sparring, I think I sparred maybe twice at Texas Powerhouse before
Actually fighting.
Yeah.
Man, let me say this: there's actually a fighter, UFC fighter, and Jeff Neal. I had talked to him, and he had actually put on one of the interviews, man, was that his first fight was actually the first MMA fight that he attended. So he had never been to a fight. He just showed up, and he was like, damn, I mean, he was training for it, but I'm like thinking that's kind of funny, man, because you've never been to an MMA fight, and you show up, and you're like, okay, now you got to step in there. So, I mean, it's weird how that works, but, I mean, for you guys, I have the utmost respect, man. I mean, when TAMMA happened here in San Antonio, I mean, it blew up. MMA was hot. Promotions were popping up left and right. You guys had a stage. What do you take back from all those years of training, man, fighting?
Man, as far as the friendships, man, the long-lasting friendships that I built throughout the years, I have a lot of acquaintances, friendships from people that I met from all over,
Right.
Here in San Antonio, man, there's a lot of people that are still in it. A lot of people that left,
Right.
I was one of those for a while, but I came back.
Yeah, that's the next episode, bro.
Yeah.
No, man. You see, and that's one of the things we talked again, man. Now, you did stop training. Now, before we get into that, how many fights did you get in your amateur career?
6. I had 6 fights. I think I went 4-2.
4-2.
Yeah.
Now, when you left, because you didn't go pro.
No, I didn't. I should have, man. All those fights, those amateur fights, man. A lot of those were scraps, bro.
Yeah. No, yeah, man. And that's one thing. I mean, it was experience, man. It was brutal. I mean, going pro definitely probably adds a little bit more pressure. But, I mean, I personally think you were one of the ones that should have jumped in, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think I got offered to fight Dustin Poirier one time, man. And
oh, damn.
I'm kind of glad I didn't do that.
Yeah, no, yeah. I think, as a matter of fact, Gilbert Hernandez fought him?
It was Ernest De La Cruz and Aaron Suarez fought him.
Oh, okay. That's right. I remember some of you guys. I mean, even back then, man. I mean, there's a lot of UFC fighters now that were running around, in the amateur event back then. Now, let me ask you this, bro. If you don't mind me asking, man, why did you stop competing?
It was a mixture of things, man. One of them being the team breaking up, the Texas Powerhouse team breaking up, a lot of the guys leaving, and just gym drama, man. A lot of it was gym drama. Once that happened, I was kind of heartbroken,
Right.
So I don't know, I just couldn't find myself going to another gym. It was kind of hard to jump into another gym after years of training at Texas Powerhouse.
Oh, for sure, man.
And then on top of that, I was a dad, having kids and all that. I had to work. It was just a mixture of things. And, yeah, I found myself just not interested in it.
Now, is it hard for you? Because eventually, years later, you actually started training again.
Yeah. The only reason being was, I could say, one of my best friends, Bobby Peak, he had moved back from Austin. He just hits me up. He's like, hey, man, I'm in town. You want to train? I was like, man, I'm out of shape, But, yeah, he brought me back from retirement. Just been training ever since for like 3 years with him already.
Yeah, and he's actually doing well for himself, man. I know, I mean, he brought in a lot of experience. I mean, now he's ambush Muay Thai, Northeast.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's doing great, man, I mean, I'm proud of him, man, because it's I saw him from the beginning, and I remember him fighting back in the day, especially with the Texas Powerhouse and then moving to Boston. So something like that, man. Congratulations, Bobby, man, for sure. Now, you've been training with him for 3 years, but before this, there was an incident.
Yeah.
And it kind of put a pause on everything, I guess you can say, man.
Yeah,
but what happened, bro?
As far as the accident? Or,
yes, sir.
Well, that was 8-9 months ago. So that put a pause on my training for sure. But yeah, no, I got electrocuted at work, and just jacked me up, man. Couldn't walk, I had muscle failure. some bad injuries as far as my arm, leg, my head, all that stuff. So basically, I had to learn how to redo all the basics: walking, using my hand,
Your motor skills.
all motor skills, man. Stuff you take for granted, you know. And sometimes, like, you know, you never think about walking. Now I have to kind of think about walking so I don't trip over myself and stuff like that. You know, it's just the little stuff that you never really think about, you know?
No, yeah, like you said. I mean, you wake up in the morning, first thing you do is walk to the bathroom, and now it's like, you gotta kind of tell yourself, hey, I gotta get up now.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. It's just, but you know, recovery's going well. I'm not nowhere near where I was at, but you know, working every day, man. People are surprised that I'm actually doing what I'm doing, you know.
Yes,
Doctors
sir.
are like, well, we can't even believe you're here right now, you know, from the
No, for
voltage
sure,
I got
man.
hit
I mean,
with.
you were telling me earlier as far as what happened, man. I mean, as far as you being hit with getting electrocuted, and as far as the damage it left. Now, one thing I had asked earlier too was as far as your training, man, because you were fit, you were training regularly as far as an ambush Muay Thai, and I had asked you if you feel like that actually helped with your recovery.
Yeah, most definitely. Muay Thai martial arts saved my life. You could say that, you know, because honestly, I was pretty strong from training and the muscle memory and all that stuff that, you know, that I accumulated throughout the years. So definitely, martial arts, just being fit in general, more than likely saved my life, you know?
Yes, sir. No, man, and I mean, the fact that you're here talking to me, man, I appreciate it. I mean, I can relate. Like I said earlier, I was electrocuted once, man, but nothing in that regard, man. I mean, that was actually pretty big.
Not fun, man. I wouldn't recommend it.
No, for sure, man. I mean, you know, it's a hell of a way to charge your phone, but
Yeah.
hey, man, you know, I'm joking because I want to, you know, just sense of humor, man. But I do appreciate
most
you.
definitely.
And I mean, like I said, the fact that you're here now, I mean, what are you looking forward to now? What have you been doing?
Mainly, I've taken a coaching role mainly with my daughters. My daughters have been competing regional Muay Thai tournaments. I got some killers, man. My daughters are really good. One of my daughters is 2-0 right now in Muay Thai. YDL rules, of course. She's 10 years old, and we've just been traveling to Houston, to Oklahoma to find these tournaments because it's hard to find Muay Thai tournaments anywhere.
Oh, definitely, especially in Texas, man.
Yeah.
You got to go to Louisiana, Oklahoma, go outside the state.
So we've been traveling, you know, she loves it. She loves the competition. And we just traveled to Oklahoma maybe about 5 months ago, and she came back with a belt, man.
Damn, that's pretty nice, man. I mean, and I've seen your videos with, you know, you training with her, and I'm thinking, man, I guess the fact that you actually did what you did at the beginning, doing this now, does it kind of like complete you, like moving forward?
Yeah, I think I'm kind of satisfied with what I did in the beginning, the whole MMA scene and all that. But I feel like this Muay Thai adventure for me it's new, you know?
Yes, sir.
It's really new, and I'm kind of embracing the Muay Thai scene, you know? It's beautiful. It's beautiful to embrace the Muay Thai scene.
No, yeah, man. I mean, that's one of the things for me. Like, I've been in this for 10 years covering the sport and actually, you know, training jiu-jitsu. I was teaching for a while. But for me, it's like if I was into combat sports, I would kind of embrace everything. I mean, I know mixed martial artists, you know, you train in grappling, you train in striking. But when it comes to Muay Thai, you kind of embrace the stand-up and you get away from the grappling.
Yeah, that was another thing. I was like, when I was fighting, my dominance was ground game mainly. You know, I think I had stand-ups to just get by. Nowhere near to where it's at now. You know, I felt like I was too strong in one certain area,
Right.
so I had to put my jiu-jitsu and wrestling on the shelf and start building my stand-up. You know, yeah, and I mean, I probably should get back to my jiu-jitsu. You know, but who knows? Maybe I'll come and roll over here at House of Jiu-Jitsu, man.
No, for sure, man. I mean, I showed you the area, the location. I mean, it's a huge place, man. So there's a lot of room.
Yeah, man. This place is gonna be amazing. By the way, you guys should come and check it out.
I'm talking to Jacob. I want to put a slide upstairs, man. That way I can just slide down every once in a while.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, make it fun. Cool. No, man. Now let me get back to this, bro. Now, as far as your training, I mean, your daughter's, you know, competing. Does she have anything coming up?
We're shooting for November. There's going to be another tournament in Oklahoma in November. Bobby really is like amazed with her. Like, he's like, dude, what the hell, bro? Like, what's up with this kid? Why is she so good, right?
Yeah.
He's
bro.
like, so she has one more fight. we're gonna go 3-0, pretty sure.
No, definitely,
But
man.
Bobby wants to take it to a big tournament. Like he wants to really.
She sees that in her, obviously.
Yeah, man. He's like, bro, we're gonna make the next one big. You know.
No, definitely.
So, yeah, so we have November, and I'm trying to get my 13-year-old to fight. Man, she's a killer too, but she just doesn't have that competition in her. You know.
Right.
And then. But yeah, that's pretty much it for her. And then, of course, myself, just keep training, building myself up. You know, that's what we got going on right now.
No, for sure. I mean, obviously, you have recovery. You're doing rehab and getting yourself 100%. I mean, everything goes well. Do you see yourself competing in Muay Thai?
Yeah, I already told myself once I get to that level again to where I feel strong, I'm going to have to do a Muay Thai fight to just prove it to myself, you know?
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. Yeah. And, of course, it's not going to be MMA, so I got to ask, if you're in your clinch, double leg or break up, man?
If it was an MMA fight?
Yes, sir.
Oh, man, I don't know. I think my old instinct will probably kick in from a clinch to a single or something.
No, it's kind of... I've seen a lot of MMA fighters, especially in the top level, like Carlos Barreto went from MMA to Muay Thai or kickboxing in Brazil, and he got disqualified, man, because every time they clinch, he kept going for a takedown.
Yeah, that's a big no-no.
Yeah, you see, and it happens, man. But my thing is, I guess because you train in Muay Thai for so long, after a while, you kind of like get away from takedowns.
Yeah. After training Muay Thai for 3 years straight, like no rolling at all. You don't even think about going for a single, man. You get cracked, you cracked your rib, you just stay there and fight. You know, posture. No bending over at the waist, nothing.
Now, like you mentioned, as far as Bobby Peak, man, he does have ambush Muay Thai. Where's the location at?
We have a location off of Blanco. It's Blanco and Bitters, and then the new location is off of Nacogdoches and I would want to say like Higgins, O'Connor area.
Oh, okay. Now, and you see, I've been to their location in Blanco. I haven't been to the new one, but I will make it out there. Now, as far as teammates, I know you brought up the fact that Peter Stanonik has something coming up, man. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, man. He's been killing it on the Muay Thai kickboxing scene. I think he's gonna be going 12-0 on this next one. He's fighting for a title. I don't know who he's fighting, but he just fought he fought a 3-fight tournament on the same day, man. And killed it. But yeah, then he fought in Bellator too. But yeah, he's got another fight August 14th, man. He's gonna kill it.
You see, and the fact that you brought up Bellator, the guy himself said he's getting away from MMA. He wants us to do the kickboxing, and with a 12-0 record, man, I don't blame him.
Yeah, definitely. His stand-up is killer, man. He's got some crisp technique that you probably don't see around much.
And I gotta say, man, as far as Peter, I did invite him. Peter, if you're listening, bro, you gotta make it out here, man.
Yeah, Peter, make it out, bro.
I'll give him a tour. I'll buy breakfast. Hell, I'll make it better. Now, bro.
Where's my breakfast, bro?
I know. I was gonna say, well, that's the next one, bro. Man, I gotta ask, man. Now, you had mentioned as far as with TAMMA, your brother competed as well, and he stopped fighting.
Yeah. He was the 145 champ for I want to say 2 years straight.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know what happened with him. I know he was with Powerhouse for a while, toward the end. Yeah, and then he went to Battle Tactics, and we were both at different gyms at that point. I think I was at Ohana for a while. I was training with Bobby Southworth for a while.
Right.
And then he was just doing this whole thing with Jamie Miller. And then just rocked that till the end, to Battle Tactics, and then the split up with them.
And that was it.
Yeah.
Now, you said as far as being in the sport, man, for me, when I covered the events, it hasn't happened lately because of COVID. But for me, I like it because it's a reunion. I personally get to see guys that I haven't seen in years. They live here in San Antonio, man, and I don't get to see them. But, I like that, man, because it's hey, you know what? I get to see what they're up to, what they're doing. Is that kind of what it is for you, for fights?
Yeah, most definitely. I think we went to Cowboys right before the pandemic happened, and, man, we ended up taking a picture with all the old teammates. It was, Tim Morris, Aaron Suarez, Atlanta Garza, me, Bobby Peak, my brother Steve, all the OGs, man. And it was just cool to see everybody, and that's how it always is. We bump into Dimitri Ivy, Anthony Ivy, all the old Texas Powerhouse guys, If you think about it, man, if you think about Texas Powerhouse back in the day, man, we were a stacked team, man.
No, for sure, and I was going to bring that up. When I first started training here in San Antonio. Actually, it was before Jamie Miller came to San Antonio. I was with Michael Rangel, and there wasn't that many schools back then. But when Jamie got here, I mean, Texas Powerhouse. I mean, of course. I mean, you guys, Powerhouse was the name itself, man. You guys carried it. I mean, I'll say that.
Yeah, we had a solid team, man. It was fun times. Fun times.
No, for sure, man. And I mean, you mentioned all these names, and all these people are in different gyms here. They're still training.
Yeah, man. Yeah, some of the guys, I don't want to say names. Some of the guys come into, Ambush Muay Thai and still come and train with us once in a while. Train, just work on their stand up.
Right.
They'll go and spar some of our guys, but we still see some of the old faces coming around to our gym.
No, man, and something like that, it's got to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of gyms frown upon, like, people cross-training and whatnot, man, politics. But for somebody to grow, man, you got to kind of have an open window. You got to let them.
You're starting to see that a lot more now. I know that back in the day, that was an issue.
Oh, yeah, man. You wouldn't dare even freaking look over there.
For real. You weren't allowed to be cool with other teams. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. You see, and I remember those days. I remember, and for me, I guess when I left Mike Rangel and I had started on my own, I mean, I left it open and I was still cool with a lot of people, but it's because I met you guys, like when I ran into you and your brother, it was a Cowboys.
Yeah,
and I remember you guys were still green as far as like getting here, but I mean, of course you guys evolved and, I mean, you're where you're at right now.
Yeah, no, it was a growing process, learning process mainly, and the way we grew was, of course, kicking each other's asses every day at the gym,
Yeah.
It was fun, man. I actually miss those days.
No, man, and I mean, the way I see it now, I mean, it's like, I reminisce a lot, and I'm like, damn, I remember this time. But, I mean, the door's open. I mean, there's still a lot to do, and a lot, like you said, you guys meet up, and like, hey, you know what, I used to train with this dude.
Yeah, it's always a reunion.
No, for sure, man. I mean, I'm hoping, I mean, the whole COVID thing's kind of starting to rear its ugly head again, man, and I'm hoping, we can look past that, because there's a lot of fights coming up, and I want to see the fights. I want people to have that competition, man. Last year, everybody got put on hold, and it ruined it for a lot of people that were looking to move up, man.
Yeah, dude. Especially like even like glory kickboxing, man. It just wasn't coming around anymore, Especially with this whole COVID thing, and that's like the biggest stage for kickboxing.
Yeah, I mean that's where you want to be at, man. Eventually, bro.
Yeah, we got lion fights too. I mean, I think we had a couple of fighters fighting lion fights, but I mean, everything's just scarce right now.
No, for sure. And I mean, like I said, man, hopefully everything will stay good and everybody practices social distance and, stay safe, stay healthy.
Yeah. Hopefully we get some more fights here at Cowboys, man. Bumping everybody.
Bro, and that, and I want to say this, man, like I've been talking to promotions and I've always been that guy that invites everybody to San Antonio because it's always been good, man. I mean, the turnouts kind of depend on what day these promotions have their fights, like Bellator on Thursday. Bad idea.
Yeah.
But, I mean, other than that, bro, like Cowboys Dance Hall has been the home for MMA. I know before they've had it here, they had it at a couple of locations, man. But, I mean, Cowboys for sure, man. I mean, it sells out. It's a good environment. They had the Mechanical Bull.
That was our place to go, man. Hey, fights at Cowboys, let's go.
Yes, sir. Hey, brother, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this episode up, man. But I do thank you for stopping by.
No problem, man. No problem.
Anything you want to say before we wrap this up?
Yeah, thank you for having me first and foremost. And then I just want to give a shout out to all the teammates at Ambush Muay Thai. Good luck, Peter, on your fight. And thank you, man.
Not a problem, man. Appreciate you, everybody out there, man. This is the Fight Card Podcast. Go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, and follow up. Until next time.